everyone, it's me again. I'm Lena and I'm from the Health Canada Escape Group. In this video, I'm going to be talking about my main video, which is about the immune lymphatic system. Now, in this video, I'm going to cover about the parts of the lymphatic system, as well as some functions of the lymphatic system, and finally, the relationship with other problems, which is the immune system, the circulatory system, and the digestive system. Along the way, I'll be also giving some quotes and some fun facts as well as some pictures and illustrations to help you to better know and understand what I'm talking about. Without further ado, let's get started on our first part, the parts of the lymphatic system. Now, the lymphatic system is a system that is mostly in the dark, so we don't often see this and hear this lymphatic system mostly like other systems like the immune and the circulatory as well as the digestive system, but it's there and it helps with every single activity in our body. Now, the lymphatic system consists of the spleen, the lymph nodes, the limbs, thymus, the tonsils, lymph vessels, lymph tissue, as well as other main components. Firstly, we have the spleen. Well, the spleen is the small bean-shaped organ that is responsible for the production and the removal of blood cells. Now, they produce blood cells and they also help to remove the wasted blood cells. Then we have the lymph nodes. The lymph nodes is where the lymph is filtered and lymphocytes are formed. This is the bean-shaped. This is the bean-shaped, not the spleen. The lymph nodes is the bean-shaped organs, small, tiny organs along the lymph vessels. Now, this is where the lymph is filtered and lymphocytes are formed, like B and T cells. So, yeah, what is the lymph, you might ask? Well, that is another part of the lymphatic system. The lymph, think of it like the blood of the circulatory system. It acts the same way. The lymph is actually the fluid that flows through the lymphatic system and helps to transport some nutrients back into the circulatory system. But I will talk about that later. The thymus. The thymus is an organ for the production and maturation of immune cells. Now, the thymus is somewhere here in our throat, and it helps with the lymphatic system. Then we have the tonsils. The tonsils are bound, fleshy masses of tissue in the throat and the tongue. I'll give you a picture of the tonsils so that you could better illustrate that. Here is a picture of the tonsils. They are on either side of your tongue and they're also in the throat area. So, have you ever heard of tonsil stones? Yes, that is when stones are produced in the tonsils. So that is where the tonsils are. That is for the tonsils. Then we have the lymph vessels. The lymph vessels basically are the vessels that carry the lymph, just like the blood vessels. The lymph tissue is the tissue where the lymph is, basically. That are all the parts of the lymphatic system. Then let's move on to the next part, the functions of the lymphatic system. Now, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there are 5 main functions of the lymphatic system that will include returning excess body fluids to the bloodstream. Now, I'll tell you about what is the main function of the lymphatic system for the circulatory system. Now, its main function is to absorb the fluid from the bloodstream leaked out. Now, firstly, there is fluid in the bloodstream. Those fluids contain the nutrients, those fluids contain the rich fats of those, and they leaked out through tiny holes in the blood vessel. And those fluids will eventually come into the outside parts, other parts of our body. And if there's nothing to absorb it, well, our body will cannot function. The organs will be flooded with it. So how can we make sure that it won't be flooded? Well, this comes the lymphatic system. Tiny tubes of the lymphatic system helps to absorb the fluid called the lymph into its system, and then dumps that liquid into the bloodstream again. And here I want to show you a picture of how that is. Here are the tissue cells. Here is the venule, which is part of the bloodstream. There's also the arteries, the lymph capillary, the tissue fluid that is, like I said, floating around everywhere, and the lymphatic vessel. Now this absorbs the fluid outside and dumps it back into the system. So it is almost like a cycle. And I want to show you another picture as well. Here is the opening. Here's the opening of the lymphatic system. Small holes where it absorbs, suck in like a vacuum of the fluid, and then dumps it back through here into the bloodstream. And as you can see, it goes through the bloodstream as well. That is for the first one. The second one is nutrient absorption. What is nutrient absorption? Well, nutrient absorption is basically when it absorbs the nutrients from that fluid and then transmit it across all the blood vessels. We also have the immune response, in which it produces lymphocytes, like I said before, in the lymph nodes, and they help with immunity. We also have the blood pressure and the transport, as well as cell debris removal. Now, cell debris removal is responsible. The organ that is responsible for that is the lymph node and the spleen. So they basically just filters out the fluid of the wasted blood cells, and then get all the new filtered blood cells into the bloodstream again. That is all of the functions of the lymphatic system. The last part is the relationships with other systems. We have three main systems: the immune system, the circulatory or cardiovascular system, and the digestive system. And yes, the digestive system is in this whole relationship thing. Firstly, we have the immune system. Now, the lymphatic system helps with three main jobs. Firstly is the immune response, as you may all well know. We have the pathogen filtering, and the organ function. Let's start first with the first one, the immune response. Now, the lymphatic system helps to produce white blood cells like T and B cells, which are called lymphocytes. And then it traps bacteria in those lymph nodes. So it's basically just traps that bacteria in those lymph nodes. And it also creates an ideal environment for healing. The lymphatic system helps our body to heal by itself. We also have the pathogen filtering, which is responsible. That is the job for the lymph nodes and the spleen. And it just filters out the bacteria from the body through the lymph nodes. So the lymph nodes is like the warrior for the lymphatic system. And in the lymph nodes, they store lymphocytes and other cells that aid with immunity as well. So that is the job of our important lymph nodes. And all of this has a benefit. It helps with organ function, which is also one of the main relationships, some of the components of relationships in the lymphatic system with other systems. So the organ function is the lymphatic system protects other organs from the pathogens through its white blood cells and lymphocytes production, and also maintain the fluid balance in our body, like I said before, in the fluid tissue fluid. The next one is the circulatory system. lymphatic system helps the circulatory system by absorbing and draining excess fluids and also excess proteins from the bloodstream, which is then excreted out of our body, out of the bloodstream, and then the lymphatic system, like this picture, helps to absorb that back in. And I want to show you another picture.
Start scheduled cleaning.
Firstly, we have the thymus, which is in this area. We also have the lymph nodes, which are tiny little nodes on that, if you can see. The thymus is here. Here's our heart. Here's the lymphatic duct. And the tonsils is here. So the spleen is here. We have another spleen right around here somewhere. There's one spleen, so I think that's just one spleen in our body. So keep it healthy. So here are the lymph nodes, which are right along here, tiny little dots along the lymphatic vessels. And here's a close-up look. The masses and lymphocytes as well as macrophages are produced in the lymph nodes, and they also filter out the other things as well. The bone marrow is an also important part of the lymphatic system, since it helps to create the white blood cells and the red blood cells. Then it will return, the lymphatic system will return that to the bloodstream, and it will eventually prevent the tissue swelling. We have the lymphatic system prevents pathogens into the bloodstream, which could be fatal for our body. What about the digestive system? Well, the digestive system, surprisingly, is in a relationship with the lymphatic system. It does have a relationship there. How? Because it helps with cholesterol regulation, waste removal, and nutrient absorption. Let's start first with cholesterol regulation. Now, the lymphatic system helps to regulate the removal of cholesterol from peripheral tissues. Then it helps with waste removal, which removes the toxins, the waste products from the digestive system, and helps to filter it through the spleen, and then or the lymph nodes. Then we have the nutrient absorption, which the lymphatic system helps to absorb fats or fat-soluble vitamins, and it helps with, those are the three main functions of the lymphatic system to the digestive system. Those are all the parts of my video as well. But before ending this video, I want to show you some of my pictures that I have as well. Now, I haven't shown you two main pictures. Firstly, I have this another one. We have the lymphatic collector vessel and other lymphatic vessels, smaller and smaller. And then we have the lymph, the capillaries here. That is the lymph part of our body. We also have the right lymphatic duct and thoracic duct, left subclavian vessel. Those are the parts of the lymphatic system. We also have this one, and basically those are some of the parts of the lymphatic system, and they are scattered around anywhere. The little dots that you can see gathering around those areas are actually lymph nodes, and again, they helps to filter out the lymph, and also you have heard some of the main functions of the lymph nodes, like I said before. Those are all of my pictures. I also have one fun fact and one main quote I want to end this video. Let's start first with a fun fact. Did you know that there's a whole other system similar to the circulatory system, which is called the lymphatic system? Well, it is similar in some ways. For example, it has the substitute for the blood. Instead of the blood, we have the lymph. Instead of the blood vessels, we have the lymph vessels. And it's like a transport system throughout our body that is amazing. Works together like the cardiovascular system. To end this video, I want to have a quote. Lymph is like a sewage system that carries toxin out of your body. And this is from Valentina Zeleva. And the lymph, this quote is actually true. Lymph is like the blood that carries out all of the waste throughout our body, from the digestive system to the immune system to the circulatory system. Our lymphatic system is often not recognized by others, so I think that it is important for us to maintain this system well, and I will talk about some ways to keep our lymphatic system healthy in my secondary edition this week. Thank you for listening to my video, and I hope to see you in the next meeting or the next video. Goodbye, see you later. I appreciate your time and attention. Bye.